Hi, awesome members of the nest.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, I'm here today with both of my bosses, so let's not make it too weird. I'm here with the awesome Korrina, the founder of OwlCrate, and Sil, OwlCrate's general manager, and we are going to be doing a behind-the-scenes live. We're not going to be giving very many vague hints. We're just going to be spilling the tea today. I'm really excited to do this with you, with both of you, Korrina, Sil. Thank you for being here.
You're a hard person to say no to, Jordan.
Ooh. I think that means they might like me. I let the nest know to be nice to me during this live chat. The pressure of doing a live chat with two of your bosses. Can you imagine? Just kidding. We get along fine. For anybody who isn't familiar with yourself, Sil, Korrina, Sil, can you start first? Give me a little bit of an elevator pitch. Who are you?
I'm Sil. I've been with OwlCrate. It'll be a year this month. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. I'm a Canadian Forces Navy veteran, and I've been in the startup world for about 10 years now, I think. I'm an entrepreneur as well, and when I met Korrina and Robert about a year ago, I knew I just wanted to be a part of helping them and build further and do more, and so I love that. That's mostly. I'm a nerd in my own rights, but the bookish community teaches me new and exciting nerddoms every day, so I'm catching up with y'all.
You said you're a nerd. What are your favorite nerdy hobbies? It doesn't have to be bookish.
I'm a Star Wars nerd. I'm a Star Trek nerd. My biggest nerddom, I would say, would be the Firefly and the Serenity fandoms. I was a part of the BC Browncoats for a while, and we did steampunk everything, and we would go to the Serenity Now screenings at the planetarium. Like, I will dress up if it's a costume involved. I'm in.
That's awesome. And Korrina?
I did not prepare as good of an elevator pitch as Sil, but I am the founder and CEO of OwlCrate. I launched OwlCrate in 2015 with my partner, Robert, and that's basically been my entire life ever since then. I am a mom to a 4-year-old boy named Rowan. I don't know what else to say. That's basically my life. It's just OwlCrate and my family. I recently moved to a small town, and I love being outside, and I love the ocean and animals, and I don't know, just kind of a big introverted nerd.
There's lots of people saying hi back. Korrina, what's your favorite part of living in a small town?
Oh gosh, I mean, where we moved to anyways, there's so much nature, and it's like right up my doorstep. I lived in Vancouver for, 10 years. And it was lovely too, and there was nature there too, but it was a lot harder to seek it out. And so I've just been really enjoying being by the ocean and in the forest. And I'm also loving the community. It's a really thriving community here, and I've been enjoying getting to familiarize myself with all the small businesses and artists who live here. And yeah, it's just been awesome so far.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. Somebody mentioned the Sky Crystal says small towns are notorious for being settings of books. So
yes.
Who knows? You could.
And I'm a sucker for a small town setting. Yes.
Speaking of books, what are you both reading or have been reading recently? Sil?
It's funny. I'm on a road trip right now because I love remote work, and I'm sitting next to the ocean in a tiny town in the middle of California. And before we went on this trip, one of the OwlCrate team members gave me one of the junior books. It's called something about elephant, and there's elephant poop and things involved. And I started reading it a couple of days ago, and it's great. It's a middle grade book, but I'm really loving it. So. And there's also Brene Brown I'm rereading, Daring Greatly, because I haven't read it in a year, and our team's going to talk about it soon. So
That was one that you've recommended to me. I love middle grade books. I think a lot of the time adult readers sleep on middle grade books because it's like all adventure, no high stakes, very cozy fantasy sometimes. Korrina, what have you been reading lately?
I just started reading a book that comes out in August called Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher, and it is my first book by them. I've heard really good things, and I'm really enjoying it. And it's a novella, so it's short. So I'm like, yes, I will be able to read this quickly and mark it on my Goodreads challenge. Yeah, it's really nice. It's kind of got cozy fantasy vibes too, which I'm really enjoying lately. So, yeah.
Yeah, you'd mentioned that you liked Emily Wilde's recently too. I loved that book.
Yes, I mean, I know that that's a question you're going to ask us later, but so far, Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies is probably my favorite book I've read so far this year.
Well, now I need to find another question to ask you later.
Well, you can still ask Sale.
That's true.
I'll talk more about what I'm reading later. It's okay.
Okay. So let's dive right into it because we're here to talk about all things OwlCrate. And I'm in the dark about some of the stuff too. I don't know everything. So I'd like to know, what are we up to this year?
So much is the answer. So much. And that's why we really wanted to have this chat, because we are working on a lot of cool things and we want to let everybody know about it because it's pretty exciting. I don't know really where to start.
I think one of the coolest things is just to tell people about how we kicked off this year. Is normally, we spent the last 6 months of 2022 trying to doing all these things and adding in all these new team members. But in January, we took a step back from doing all those things, and all of our teams and all the different teams met, collaborated on, and we set goals for the year. And we took some time away from doing more and just planning, and that some of the coolest ideas and the most inspired creativity from the team came out of that. And it was really great to see people from the operations team get involved with the curation team and our e-commerce team, and everybody kind of got together, and some really amazing ideas came out of that.
Yeah. I guess some of you watching may have an idea of a couple things that we are planning to launch this year, because we recently sent out various feedback surveys. So one of the big ones that I'm really excited about is we will be launching an adult box this year. It's not a maybe, it is happening. I saw a few people online being like, I don't know if they are sending this because they're actually doing it this year or if this is something that they might do next year. No, it's happening this year. But we sent out the survey because we really want to get feedback from all of you as to how you want it to look like and stuff like that. So thank you to everybody who replied. So I don't know, do you want to tease more about what we're doing?
I was so amazed at how many people, thousands and thousands of people responded in the hour we sent it. The fan base and how excited everyone is never ceases to amaze me. It's been a year, and it boggles my mind every time.
Yeah.
And that really is driving why we're doing new things. Everyone has been asking for adult for a long time. But the other thing that we are doing, and I will say out loud for the first time, is we put out a survey last week just to finalize some interest. But we're going to be offering a YA book only as well as a junior book only soon. It's coming. Yeah. And I think that is a direct answer to requests that we've gotten from the community, and we'll continue to listen as we launch new things. But those are 3 things that are definitely coming, and you will have them in your hands soon.
Yeah.
Soon.
And I know that folks online had been chattering about the adults possibly being at the end of the year, but I don't really think it's going to be the end of the year, Korrina.
We have chosen the book that we want to be our first adult book, and it is coming out in the summer. So that is what we are aiming for. I don't want to say that it's definitively yes, it is launching in the summer, just in case, because we want this to be amazing and perfect for you all. So if the launch needs to be pushed, it will be. But so far, everything's going really, really well. Everything's on track. And so, yeah, it's coming sooner than later.
I think people
it's hard to get the team, ourselves and the team, to slow on things like this, but it's so important to us when we launch these new things that we have the right people, the right products, and the right processes in place. And we're making sure that that happens so that we launch it. It is an immediate success, and we never have to like slow down on that, and we can just concentrate on continuing to grow it as well.
Absolutely. So off the back of that, because you want to involve the community so much, we do. How is OwlCrate utilizing the results from the YA book only junior and adult surveys that went out recently?
We have an amazing person that we added into the team in late last year who strictly is digging into all the data. But I will say that the executive team, we looked at the results from an early stage, and we were really surprised at what the community is telling us that we want and is helping us build it. Like, we didn't realize some of the things, and it very much is dictating what decisions we're going to make, what type of things, like how often the books come out. And so I will say we don't have all those answers yet, but we definitely are listening to all of that feedback directly and using it to build the brand.
Yeah, we just turned off the surveys today. So now our data analysts will make us some beautiful reports, and we'll get to look at that early next week and then really make some concrete decisions about what it's going to look like, what they're all going to look like, because it's various different subscription programs. But yeah, it's going to be really cool. I can't wait for that meeting.
I will also say that those surveys are the first time that we are kind of regularly soliciting this type of feedback, but the next level of it is we're going to be offering some closed focus groups where some people who responded to those surveys are going to have the opportunity to sit down in live conversation and help us get more granular in a lot of our offerings. And some of those focus groups won't be product-based. They'll be about diversity and inclusion initiatives, and from a group of artists telling us, what they need in order to work with brands like ours, and how we can do more for the community. And the only way that we will learn that is by asking the community directly. So I know we're really thankful, Jordan, for everything that you're building in the Nest and the community there. It's great to see so many new faces in that community, so active all the time.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that even though we've turned off the surveys, in the Nest, you can tell us what you want. That's what it's there for. We have specific groups. If you feel very strongly about something, tag me, tag Sil. We'll look at your comments and we'll respond back to you as soon as we're able to. I know that Drew Sim has asked, have you guys shipped all of your February boxes yet? I haven't got mine, and most likely it will be here Monday. We're shipping this week and Monday, so look out for that email. You should receive it soon. The workshops sound amazing. Thank you, Anton. Amaryllis, this is a question for Korrina, if that's okay. Mm-hmm. I was wondering if people who subscribed or renewed, like me, I just renewed my 6-month subscription. Thanks, Amaryllis. Will have the option to switch their subscription boxes. So let's say the adult fantasy box launches in May, but my subscription is till August. Will I be able to switch my subscription?
Yes. We're still gonna need some time to figure out the logistics of that, but absolutely, we want to make it as seamless as possible for everybody, our subscribers and new people as well. But yes, we would work with each of you to figure out the best solution for your subscription and your account. So no problem there.
And I think everybody knows how amazing Crystal and our customer success team are, but she's really leading all these focus groups and the surveys and putting those things together. So she tells us every day when something isn't going well. But not only will current subscribers be able to switch, but there will be options to add in other ones and bundle. So if you want both YA and adult and things like that, our intent is not to limit anybody or any of your choices.
No, I love that. Everybody will be able to get exactly what they want, which I think the community's been requesting for a really long time. So we're here for you. Korrina, do you know what kind of books might be included in the adult book box?
Yeah, so one of the questions on the survey we sent out was asking everyone what their favorite adult fantasy genres are. It will primarily be fantasy, but I think there's so many subgenres of fantasy that we could add and play with. So we're still analyzing those results. I know when I last looked at the responses, it was high fantasy, spicy fantasy was a very close second. So we will be including some spicy books, I'm sure. But yeah, there's so many different things we could do. Sci-fi, paranormal was highly requested. So it will be a variety of different types of fantasy. So kind of like what our YA box is like as well. And that way I think there's going to be like something for everyone. But we will analyze those results further next week.
Teresa says, definitely voting for spicy fantasy. Good news, Teresa. I think you get a say.
We heard you, we promise.
This one I'm very excited for because I know the answer already, but everybody has been dying to know. Will OwlCrate ever get stenciled edges and more customization options on books?
Yes. Yes. This has been like something that is so requested, and we take your feedback very seriously. We've talked in the past about how stenciled edges are really difficult to do when you're printing books in North America. There's currently not a major printer that offers that. However, we've been working with one of our publishing partners on a solution to fix this. And so I'm happy to announce that our first book with stenciled edges is coming very soon. I'm not going to give away the exact month, but very soon. And that info will be included when we reveal that theme. But it took almost a year to get to that point of different, conversations. And this is kind of like a test run. So far, it's going very well, and the finished books are stunning. And now it's kind of just like a case of like, will they arrive on time? Everything's on track. No worries. Once that goes well with this book, we will be able to do this more. And I'm so excited because I love the stenciled edges too. This is definitely one of the most beautiful books we've ever made. So it's coming finally.
And I will just, I will say that stenciled edges is just one thing that people should be excited about in the next couple of months. Some of the coolest customizations I've ever seen on the book are coming very soon.
Yeah, like every book that we have worked on so far, this like coming up from this point onwards, it either has gilded edges, sprayed edges, stenciled edges. If it doesn't have fancy edges, we've done something else very, very cool that we've never done before. So every book is epic coming up, and I'm really excited.
I've seen some early spoilers about the February book too, and people are stoked. It's so pretty. You guys are going to love it. Casey Carnage says, it'll be my first stenciled book. That's awesome. And I'm pretty sure we might have broken the bookish internet with the stenciled edges announcement.
I love all the people watching this. How excited you get just drives our team every day.
Yes.
We screenshot all of your social media and share it internally every day.
Every day. And this is a good question just to go right here too. Korrina Dunn Pixie on Instagram asks, what's your favorite part of the special edition books?
I find that so hard to answer because like all of it, like, the curation team and myself, we work really hard to make every single book really special in different ways, depending on like which publisher we're working with and all of the amazing artists that we work with to create all of the stunning artwork for each book. Like every single one is truly a labor of love with everybody involved. So it's hard for me to pick a favorite thing. I'm a sucker for like really stunning hardback cases though, like with either foil or like fully printed artwork on the case. I think that would be my personal favorite piece of a special edition book. Yeah, that's my answer.
I have a weird edition. I spend a lot of time just like scrolling and like looking for OwlCrate hashtags and making sure we're not missing important feedback. And what I really love is seeing people that are really excited about a specific book or an author, and when they show us their shelves and I see our editions on their shelves along with like 5 other editions, and I was like, I love seeing that level of excitement and engagement for an author and the amazing stuff that they're creating, but it makes me really happy to see that we're on that list.
Yeah.
I get sometimes very surprised at the amount of editions that people will have in one particular fandom or series. And I don't know, that just gives me the warm fuzzies that somebody would want to live inside that series.
Yeah.
I'd like to live inside the Raven Boys series.
Me too.
Speaking of the Raven Boys, this isn't even on the list. Korrina, one of the biggest things we're being asked this year is, do you think we'll do any more Raven Boys special edition books?
It is something I'm actively working on. I had hoped that I would have a concrete answer to share today, but I sadly don't have that yet. But I've seen the feedback. I would also, as a fan, love a complete matching set. So it is something I'm actively working on. And as soon as we can share, we will. I know that all of the artists involved in the first book are game to, contribute again. So that's really helpful. So yes, fingers crossed. I'm really hoping so.
Fingers crossed. That wasn't even on the list. I might get in trouble for asking that question later, but I wanted to ask it for you guys.
Speaking of getting in trouble, I will say that doing special editions, it isn't just a standalone book. It may not be the Raven Boys coming up as a definitive thing, but there are some full sets coming this year.
Is there any more that we could tease about that? We could say that it's a really big fandom.
No,
Jordan. Mm-mm.
Popular?
No, we are under a strict NDA with one of
I
them.
wasn't even supposed to say that, Jordan.
I might get in trouble for that one. Tara Sill says, I've missed Team OwlCrate. I enjoyed the last behind the scenes, and I want to know if we will be seeing more of Corey, Sally, and other OwlCrate team members this year.
I'm so excited to answer this question. Y'all are going to lose your mind. In April, our team is so excited to be going back for first time in a long time. And we feel like it's a good time to start traveling again. COVID's feeling safe and things, but our team is headed to Y'all West, and we're so excited to be there. Our entire marketing, Jordan is going. We're bringing
after this.
We're bringing some social media. People probably don't know this, but we have social media and team members on the marketing team from the US and the UK and all over the place, and they are all converging in LA for that event and spending some time together. Also, why they're spending some time together is that OwlCrate is launching a podcast. It's so excited. Jordan, I think honestly you're the best person to keep talking about it. You got say some things about the podcast. It's so cool.
All right. We have a working title, but I'm going to keep that under wraps for now because I feel like we want to launch that a little bit more special. But the coolest thing ever is that I get to spend time with my other boss, who is Corey, and we are going to talk all things bookish as we launch a podcast where it's me and Corey and other members of the OwlCrate team and authors and influencers. And we're going to talk all about the fun after dark stuff that you guys want to know about in the community. We're going to be talking about bookish news, bookish events, and everything and anything under the sun bookish. And I'm so stoked to just hang out with Corey and do this.
Corey's a part of that. Sally is definitely be a part of that, and team members that you don't normally hear from who are great at doing things like making podcasts.
And I'm going to let you know, we have awesome members behind the scenes. Myra, who is head of our marketing team. Garrett, who is part of our biz ops team. He's going to come in and make it like a beautiful audio experience for you. We are going to have so much fun. And I might even be able to rope Crystal in because I know everybody wants to see more of Crystal as well.
If you give her an opportunity to talk about plays and play adaptations of books and things like that, she will come and play some graphic novels.
Well, I will say is part of the name is his book-ish in brackets. So I'm thinking comics. I'm thinking graphic novels and DC and all things Batman. We could just do an entire Batman special.
I mean, it's almost endless, like the topics that we'll be able to cover in the podcast, isn't it? It's so exciting. It's so exciting. And I know so many people have really missed Corey lately. So this will be such a fun way for her to come back and, be part of the community in a more public way again. And I know she's excited about it too.
Everybody's very excited for the podcast. And members of the Nest, if there's anything that you want to see us talk about or want to know more about, if you want to know even like fun inside author stuff of the people who I've interviewed over the years, please, I'll let you know. On none of the inappropriate stuff, but most of the fun stuff. Sil, I'm going to ask you this question. What new OwlCrate feature or project are you most excited about unveiling this year?
Oh, it's so hard. I was so excited about the nest, and when we found and hired you and brought you in and what that's become, and that was such a huge, like, Korrina wanted that before I joined, and to see that come to fruition is really exciting. But I think I will say I will have a different answer than everybody else on the team. But one of the things I'm most excited about is how dedicated the team is this year to what we call the do good side of the business. We almost always say yes to charitable initiatives when they come out, but our team is very much proactive this year in going out. We have team members dedicated to finding more of those opportunities and larger scale partnerships and how we can do more good in the world. Jordan, you're a huge part of that. And that's something that I really believe in, and that is a big part of it. And I love seeing how much energy, financial contributions, and things like that OwlCrate is dedicated to put out there. And you can see there is a thread in the nest where I'm asking some folks to raise their hand to volunteer to be part of a task force of tell us what community you live in and what your community needs and how we can help. And I'm really looking forward to being a part of creating more space for that as well.
I'm excited too because as part of our Y'all West trip, we are actually going to be actively participating, fingers crossed if all goes well, in an incredible LA charity that provides books to underserved communities and teens. So I'm super excited for that part of the Y'all West trip. And we will have a vlog. Crystal and Sophie and Christiane and Myra and myself and Corey. Did I get everybody? I think I actually did. We're all going to be vlogging this trip. So that's probably going to be my thing I'm most looking forward to in Y'all West is that give back initiative.
Yeah. I know Korrina has something else that she's excited about though, and I don't want to steal your thunders.
We kind of hinted about it a little bit earlier in this chat, but I mean, I'm excited for so many things because we're launching a lot and it's all super cool. But one thing that we wanted to tease a little bit is that we will be doing our biggest special edition box ever this year, ever. We are under a strict, we can't talk about it or hint at it too much, but
I almost completely blew that one out.
It will be like a full series of books, plus like a whole bunch of really deluxe items. It's definitely the biggest, most involved special edition box we've ever done, and it's been so fun to work on. And an actual official announcement for that will be coming probably by the end of this month. So it's almost time to reveal it. So I'm excited about that.
What better way to
it's bigger than the other special editions that OwlCrate has done? I think we can say yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's more books than we've ever done. It's more items than we've ever done. We're going to have to create an entirely new box size to fit it all. It's, it's very exciting.
And we promise we will give you enough notice so you can plan and we're not, it's not going to get announced today and go on sale tomorrow. We'll give you some time.
Yes, we've also heard the feedback there in that we need to give more notice and time for special releases, and we will definitely be doing that this year. So no worries there.
Oh my goodness. Leslie says, ooh, special edition, BRB going to find a second job to pay for the good stuff coming. Yasmin, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yasmin, no, don't get yourself into trouble. I almost got myself into trouble. In case anybody in the nest doesn't know, all of the OwlCrate team members are members of the nest. So if you want to come and hang out with us, we're here. We're not here all the time, but we're happy to spend time with you. How can fans of OwlCrate become more involved with OwlCrate? Whether it's through social media, shares, arts, other interests?
Oh, you're all going to love this answer because it involves Corey. We know how much you miss Corey. Corey is the head of retention. She received a formal promotion recently, and so her job is really to figure out how to engage the community and to pull that in. we're launching some really great initiatives, and I feel like if I told you what they all are, it would steal our thunder, and that's not cool. So I will say you'll hear more from Corey on those very soon, but also with there will be a part of our website coming out soon that's just going to make it much easier for people to make requests like, I'm an artist, I'd like to work with OwlCrate. I have a donation request. I have an event I'd like you to support. I'd like to collaborate with you on a project, all these different things. And Crystal's actually been designing this whole way for that information. There's a request to come in and get to the right departments. So I would say give us like another month probably for that, and then that will be live as well. Our goal is really to like make it as easy as possible for all of you to communicate with us directly. If you have something in the meantime, Jordan is your easiest access point. You message something to Jordan, and Jordan will like bring it right to us and force us to answer, because they are very big on making sure that everybody in the nest is heard in the team. So.
Whether anybody wants to listen or not, I make sure you're heard. And OwlCrate always wants to listen. But even your silly stuff, if you share awesome, fun art, anything in the nest, I share it with the OwlCrate team. This question is for Sil. Sil, can you tell us why building the nest and involving the community, see, this is a great segue, is at the forefront for OwlCrate and how it ties into our values?
I love this question. Like I said, I've been with OwlCrate for almost a year now, and I think people don't realize how big the team has gotten and how much we've grown and how it started. I've never seen a team as close-knit as OwlCrate when I first joined, and what I call the OGs, and the people that just built this thing together and came along with Robert and Korrina for their journey and their vision. And what I think is really cool is that we haven't lost any of that. It's just deepened with the team that we have. But a few months ago, we sat down with everybody and we did a vision and values exercise, and there were Post-it notes everywhere and all the different colors and all the different walls in the office, and trying to figure out like, what do we really believe in and what do we think is really important. And a lot of the team had a lot of very strong feelings about charity, diversity, and inclusion, and making sure that representation existed in everything that we do. And it really helped us focus on what those goals are. And that was where wanting the nest came from, is, we have this great inside small team of bookish people doing great things that are that they're excited about. But the only way that we can continue to do that is if we keep building space for readers, by readers, and making sure that you have space to be heard and that we're doing things that you actually want. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
So you'll hear from there will be a page that is launching on the website probably in the next couple of weeks that will show you what our vision and values are, so that we can be publicly transparent about that and how we're contributing to that. And we will regularly be speaking on what we're doing for each of those things as well. So transparency is really important to us.
The website, are we allowed to say anything?
I was just going to say that. That's not on our list, but we are working on a full website design right now. It's so close to being ready to share with you all. So close. It's lovely. I love the design of it, and I think it's going to be more functional, and we're just going to keep working on making our website better and better and better for users. And so, yeah, that's coming soon.
I'm waiting for that to like buffer and for them to react. So we'll get back. But Julie was like, Jordan, can you please ask Korrina this question? I was like, of course. What box has been your favorite since OwlCrate launched? That's a lot of boxes.
It is a lot of boxes. I've lost count. We used to, in years past, our monthly enamel pin used to say the box number on the backing card. But we don't do that anymore, so I've like lost count. But hundreds of boxes have gone out, and kind of like I said with my favorite thing to do with the special edition books, it's really hard to pick. Every single box, I know what went into it. I think this might be an interesting stat for people to know. We use like a project management software for keeping track of all the things we need to do to put together a box. And every single box has roughly 1,000 steps to it. And that's not an exaggeration. So that's how much love goes into every box, every item. I
I
don't
didn't know
know.
that. That's a fun behind the scenes.
Yeah, I didn't even know that myself until we started using this program and like building out, the templates for projects. And I was like, oh my goodness. I don't know, like our first ever box obviously holds a special place in my heart. It's so funny to look at it now and see how, in my opinion, how much better our boxes have gotten. But at the time I was very proud of that box. And the book was A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, which like totally kicked off my V.E. Schwab obsession. And so that's cool that ended up becoming my favorite author and one of my favorite books. But I also just, for my personal aesthetic, I love any box we do that has to do with like forests. And we've done a few you may have noticed over the years. So those ones stand out. And then maybe it will be fun to kind of hint at an upcoming box that is one of my favorites, which would be May.
May. Okay.
Yes. I'm not going to share too much more about it, but that box, I think people are going to really like. And I love it, and it's one of my favorite reads of recent years as well. So that's all I'm going to say.
Julie is in the comments. She says, my first OwlCrate box was this Savage song.
That was such a fun box to do. That was the only box where we've ever, if the theme was good versus evil, and half our subscribers got a good box and half got an evil box. And that was just so much fun to put together. The logistics were challenging, but yeah, that was really, really fun. And it'd be cool to try something similar again at some point. So that one actually does stand out to me as a unique box experience.
You know what'd be cool? Sealy and unsealy boxes. That's not like a thing, by the way. That's just a Jordan idea.
I love it, though.
Cool?
It would be cool.
Sarah asks, will we ever get any plush Oswalds? And Sarah's been a subscriber since 2017.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. I know, yeah, I think Syl will probably want to talk about this. We've seen requests for an Oswald plushie, and it is something that we want to do. I think it even ended up on our list of projects for the year. To be fair, there's other things that are a bit more time sensitive, but we are aware of it, and I think we all want one. So
I think it's going to happen this year, mostly because the team put it on their goals, and we have to do this. Choking on air. But I will also say that coming very, very soon, we're launching some brand new things that won't come in a monthly box, and will be new, and will change up every month, and it's going to be very cool. It's something we've never done, and I don't know how much I'm allowed to say that. I think that's all I'm allowed to say. Korrina may say something else. But
we got to save some stuff for a future chat. We can't give everything away.
Yeah. But watch everything. The next month is going to be a big one for everything that you want from us.
Yeah.
And it's also our anniversary month.
Yeah.
It is.
That's pretty fitting.
Yeah.
I have more questions about that later, but just keep that in your mind as you're watching this chat. Leah asks, Rita, will you ever consider any non-fantasy books in the adult box?
I'm not sure at this point. Like I said, there will definitely be different genres of fantasy. I could even see us potentially doing a book that skews more into the mystery thriller genre, but just might have a tiny element of magic or something. And then I still think that's fair game to be included in a fantasy box. And who knows what the future holds. We'll continue to listen to feedback. Maybe next year we'll launch another subscription box that's a different genre entirely. I don't know. Right now, I think our passions lie in fantasy, and given the response that we got, I think a lot of you are excited about fantasy, but never say never. We're working on cool stuff all the time.
I think that counts. I think kind of magical realism horror. That's a possibility.
Yeah, like all sorts of things. It's not going to necessarily be like just all like high fantasy set in kingdoms kind of thing. It's going to be a wide variety.
I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, me too.
Autumn Brooke Mathis on Instagram asks, will there be a new paperback classic this year? I'm in love with Rita Illustration's work on Instagram.
Currently, we have not solidified another paperback classic, but it's something that all of us want to do more of. So I think we're not closing the door on that collection by any means. We kind of just have to find the right theme and the right classic to do. But I'm hoping we can include one in a summer box, but I'm not sure. If we can't include them in a box, maybe we'll start to put some in our shop or something. But to answer your question, we love that collection. We love Rena, and I know we want to make more. So I'm sure more will come at some point. I'm just not sure when or how.
I will also say to that, though, is all of that is, as is a theme developing, is driven by all of you. And a good example of that is we put out the Lord of the Rings bowls last year, and people went nuts for them. And we're like, no, we're done. 4 is enough. We're done. And that wasn't good enough for everybody. And we listened. So I won't tell you what month it is coming, but it's very soon. I would say like the next 3 months. They're very soon. There is a 5th Lord of the Rings bowl, and the only reason we made it is because everybody asked. So it's happening.
And even that, like, even when we made that one, I was like, okay, now this is it. And yet now there's another location that feels iconic that we're missing. And I'm like, okay, are we going to do a 6? I don't know.
I think the OwlCrate team is going to be so mad if we don't do that one, and we have to.
I know.
I agree. When I heard about the 6th one, I was like, yeah, I kind of need that. I'm redoing my kitchen. I need the 6th bowl, so.
And if you love the Lord of the Rings bowls, this isn't on the list, and I haven't told Still or Jordan that I want to talk about this. But if you love the Lord of the Rings bowls, I'm currently working on a passion project tied to that. I'm not going to say much more because it's still very, very early planning stages, but I think there's more we can do that's very cool with that artist and that style of item. And that's all I'm going to say. More's coming.
Bowls. They're so, if you look at them up close, like there's texturing, like it's such a well done. I use mine all the time.
Me too.
Yeah, like, and you can't get them.
Yep.
For now, you can't get them. You have to subscribe. Christy Book Nerd asks, would you consider doing a Daughter of Smoke and Bone set? I like that series.
I like that series too. And Lainey Taylor is lovely to work with. I think there is potential in the future. It's not going to happen this year to do that book series, but I don't know. I feel like we could do that at some point because we all love it too. But if you love Lainey, something really exciting is coming. You'll see an announcement on social media later today, but we thought it'd be fun to share here first that we will be launching a brand new section of our shop called the Licensed Author Collection. And our first collection is with Lainey Taylor. So it's so exciting. It's been something we've been working on for months. We're not going to reveal anything about what items are going to be in there, but stay tuned on social media because some big reveals are coming, and I think you guys are going to like it. And yeah, we'll be doing more collections with more authors spread out throughout the year. And yeah, it's been a really fun new thing to work on.
And they're beautiful.
They're so good. And it's been so much fun working so closely with the authors that we're involved with, and having that level of partnership, and how excited they are about how excited everybody else is for their their books and everything. It's been great.
Yeah, it's been so cool to get like direct feedback from the authors. So like every single item's been approved by them. They've likely had a hand in the design of it, suggestions, different things they want us to mention. So it's very much a collaboration, and it's been awesome to work on, and I can't wait to reveal it.
Everyone is very excited. I think I have the vapors, is what Anna said. That's funny. So exciting. Yeah, I've seen every single one of the items for the Laini Taylor collection. So pretty. You guys are going to be very excited. Kitty Nightstar 798 asks, have you picked all the books for summer and fall yet? And I think that they mean about the YA books.
We have picked the books for summer, and we are like diving deep into picking books for fall and winter. We are trying to pick books even further in advance than we have in the past, so that we can hopefully do more things like stenciled edges, which take a lot longer time to do. So pretty soon we'll have all the books for 2023 picked for the YA box. Yeah, and there's lots of good books coming up.
Awesome. And if you are an author or know an author, drop them in the nest and let us know if your friend wrote a book or who your favorite author is, so that we know and we can share that information with the team.
Well,
especially if you know a book that's coming out in 2024, I would say, because that would like be lots of time for us to look into whatever books you guys are excited about.
Well, if we can't feature every author and everything, but that's why Jordan is an amazing part of the team. And, we look at what we did with Robin Alvarez and her books that are coming out and connecting with authors like that. The whole point is to create space for the book community overall. And there's a lot of ways that we can do that. And we're just coming up with new ones every day. If you have one, you let us know.
And if you'd like me to talk to an author, let me know. Dream big. Everybody's mentioning I would die for a Maggie Stiefvater collection, Korrina.
I would too.
Maggie Stiefvater, Cassandra Clare. That would be a cool one too. You guys have good ideas.
Yeah, we should make a post after this in the nest asking which authors you'd like us to see like do collections with. I feel like with Maggie, as much as I adore the Raven Boys and adore her, we have done a lot of Raven Boys lately. So it might be a little while before we do more, but I'm always game. It's my favorite series.
You don't have to twist Korrina's arm too hard to get more Raven Boys content.
I'm almost done book 2. I'm catching up. The team yelled at me so hard, but they found out I hadn't read them, so I'm catching up.
Yes. It just gets better and better.
Yeah.
I've only ever read book 1. No one come at me. The whole nest is going to be like, Jordan.
Babs is going to get you.
I know. Korrina, Esther Bookster on Instagram asks, what inside book jacket is your favorite design? That's a cool question.
Yeah, so I'm guessing they probably mean like the reversible dust jackets that we do.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Again, I love them all. I know that's a cop-out for an answer, but some recent ones that I really liked. I love the scene that we did for the Poison season, which was our December book. That was by an artist named Tamar, and she just does the most beautiful, like they look like paintings. They're so atmospheric. So I really liked that one. I also really liked one from April 2022 for Hotel Magnifique, which was done by an artist named Gemlin. That one was just like so magical and romantic, and I thought that she captured the book like perfectly. But I love all of it. It's so cool to see artists we'll send artists our ideas for a scene, character descriptions, and then they just blow us away like by bringing it to life. It's truly incredible. And as somebody who has no artistic talent, I'm just completely floored every single day by the talent of all these independent artists that we work with.
I love it when they get to work with like Teresa New Tasman and they throw in like little Easter eggs in there and little pieces of things, and how collaborative a process it really is.
Yeah.
I really like the Strange the Dreamer ones. Because they looked very true to what I imagined the characters looked like in my head. And I know a lot of people have said that. So the artist, forgive me, I don't know which artist it is, but I really, really like that one.
She goes by Golden Rose Art on Instagram.
I knew you'd know who it was.
That also reminds me, I was only thinking about monthly box jackets, but the Raven Boys jacket, which was illustrated by the author herself, Maggie Stiefvater, which is like, how did we get to do that? That's amazing. So to see the author bring to life her characters in a jacket as a fan, I was like, oh! I want to like get that framed for my house somewhere because I love it.
It would be beautiful framed and like blown up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should do that and then take a picture and show me so that I can do the same thing. Let's do some fun wrap-up questions because we've dropped a lot of information and I think it's fun to get a little bit silly at the end of live chats. So this is for just Sil and Korrina. I'm not going to answer. We're going to do rapid fire. All right. 1. What is the best book you've read in 2023?
Who's going first?
Korrina. Because we know what it is.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few OwlCrate books that might top this one if I was being honest, but I'm not going to reveal them. But outside of OwlCrate picks, definitely Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. Just so whimsical. Loved it.
Sil.
It was definitely the Raven Boys. It was just something totally different. It was something new. I loved it, and it's created a new obsession. So, new fan.
Welcome to the club.
Okay. I'll get in on this one. The Wicked Bargain by Gabe Cole-Novoa. Transmasculine pirate fantasy. I can't top that yet. 2. Okay, Sil. An auto by author on your shelf.
She's not releasing any books or hasn't recently, but there was an author that I stalked for like a decade. Kim Harrison. She wrote this series called The Dead Witch Walking, and it took so long for all those books to come out. And if she wrote anything again, I would pre-buy everything I could. I love that series and the concept of the way that the witches and the like every type of fey animal was in there. Like fey species was in there. I loved it. It was great. I miss her stuff.
Oh, hopefully she comes out with something new.
Yeah.
I have recommendations for you, and so does Teresa. We went down a giant paranormal romance rabbit hole one day.
Bring it on. Love it.
For me, it's definitely V.E. Schwab. I don't buy extra editions of that many authors' books, but I collect editions of her books, and I have loved every single book she's written, which is rare for me. Like there's other authors that I'm very passionate about, but it's like particular books or series of theirs. But with V, everything. And I will continue to support her every release she does.
I was going to go, but I'm not going to go because there's like 11,000. Okay, number 3. Sil, is there a genre that you have not read or have avoided that you'd love a recommendation for?
Honestly, I've never really gotten into like spicy books, and if somebody has a recommendation for like a queer spicy book, I'm in. So find something with a good storyline. I don't want like just the fluffy, but like I would take that in. I would love that. So bring it on.
Okay, you heard that. Queer, spicy books. Doesn't have to be fluffy.
Okay.
And go. Comments.
Oh my gosh, I know that the Ness is going to come through for you.
Oh boy, will they.
Yes. What genre? It's funny because the genres I avoid, I kind of avoid them for a reason. Like I've kind of learned that they're just not my thing, but I wouldn't mind some spicy romance recs too, because I feel like that I might like that, and I've just not really taken the time to like look into that.
I have a recommendation for you then, Korrina.
Okay, yes, please.
Okay, so The Serpent and the Wings of Night.
I have seen that book cover everywhere lately. Yes, I've heard good things.
Yeah, that should be on your TBR.
Okay.
It was unexpectedly good, and I read it as an ARC like 6 months ago.
Yeah,
and I knew that Book Talk was going to grab that book and kind of take it into the stratosphere.
I've not seen anything but like rave reviews for it. So thank you. I will probably actually read that one.
Sil, starting with you, what is the book that has impacted you most, the one that lives rent-free in your mind?
This is so off like the kilter of like why like fantasy books, but like Brene Brown, and as you know, I will recommend it to everybody, and if you haven't read it, I will probably force it on you, just because I think it's good life stuff, and that fits. I usually have one like fun book and one like development book on the go, so pretty much anything that she's written is fantastic. The Atlas of the Heart came out last year. It was really, really good.
Nice. For me, I like two come to mind. One is like one that was like very important to me as a teen that I just think about because it's what got me like heavily invested in reading and especially teen books. And that's The Perks of Being a Wallflower. It's just, that's the first book I bought with my own money. And I can vividly remember going into the bookstore to find it. And that was back when like there wasn't even a teen or young adult section in bookstores. So I remember it was actually hard to find it. And then a newer book / series is The Raven Boys. Like that's probably the characters and the story that I think about the most. So when you say like live rent free in your head, they are there. They feel real to me. It's a very, very special series to me.
I'm actually going to answer this one. I said I wasn't going to.
Do it.
I'm going to say the childhood one, Walter Farley's Black Stallion. I'm an equestrian. That lives rent-free in my head. The story itself. But then secondly, as an adult, The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers is my favorite book ever. It is spicy still. It needs to be on your TBR. It's also super queer.
I'm in.
Starting with Korrina next. What shows should be on our watch list that you've loved lately?
I mean, I feel like this would probably be a popular answer for a bunch of people, but the only show that I've really been actively watching lately is The Last of Us, and I love it. Love it.
It's Pedro Pascal's world. We're just living in it. So
it's just so good. Yeah.
Still?
I mean, that's on there, and I'm kind of in a phase of rewatching some shows. I restarted The Magicians, which I love, and just makes me so happy to watch. And I'm rewatching a bunch of stuff. So if anyone has anything new that is like witchy and fabulous, or things like that, also recommendations.
Have you read the books by Lev Grossman?
No.
You said that in front of the bookish community. No, you have to read the books. They're so good. If I'm not working, you can find me, Sil.
Either in my craft room, which is like leather industrial craft, making weird things like leather house hippos, or in a tiny town somewhere, rummaging through an antique store, finding, again, weird things.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever found in an antique store
that
you can let the next know about?
I have on my wall, my wall of weird at home, and I have a taxidermied octopus that is like this big, that's on a plaque, and nice. I love it. It came from Portland, and it is one of my favorite weird things, although it would be hard to pick because I have a lot of weird things.
I would like a picture of the weird octopus.
Show that to us.
Please.
I will share pictures when I get home.
Korrina.
For me, it would either be doing a jigsaw puzzle. That is a hobby that I picked up during the pandemic that brings me a lot of joy. Or walking on the beach looking for sea glass.
Do you have a lot of sea glass? Do you like collect sea glass?
I do. Me and my son. We've been.
Afternoon. Crescent City. We're stopping there just to pick sea glass. We'll get you some.
Lucky. Look for some cool colors. We're kind of nerds about it. Someone local to the town that we live in has like designed these like sea glass banks that are like made of wood and glass, and you like drop the sea glass in and you can display it. So we have a few of those.
That sounds beautiful. Oh, Sil, somebody had mentioned, have you watched The Queen's Gambit on Netflix?
Yes, it was so good.
That's
I
a
love
good
that
show.
one.
That was a good one. That's a good recommendation, Literary Ghost.
It was so good.
It was good.
This is a fun one. What OwlCrate item do you keep in a bag or wallet just in case? Korrina?
So I wish that I had my bag up here because the actual bag I use is the like Obsidio inspired corduroy bag from a couple years ago. I love that bag and I use it all the time. But I am usually inside at my desk, let's be honest. And I actually have a selection of things that never leave my side. And it is the Song of Achilles pens. I love these. If you love these too, I'm working on something cool with those. Lip balm from Fiction Bath Co. And a more recent addition is the tape measure that we sent in January. This is so handy for all things curation and needing to know sizes of items. And that never leaves my side. I even take that when I'm traveling. So those are my things that I use pretty much daily that I love.
On my desk at home, the room sprays, I love those. I usually have OwlCrate candles literally everywhere. But Korrina kind of stole my thunder, but I'm traveling right now and intend on doing some antique stuff this weekend. And this is also
It's so useful. Yes.
I can't even make it up because I'm literally like not at home, and this is for my antiquing because it's very important. I'm looking for a specific thing that goes in one specific area, and this thing is amazing, and it's so cool because you squeeze it and it like, yeah.
That is hilarious. The same
More
thing.
useful than anybody ever thought that it would be. Like, the community's like, where would I use this? And then I've seen so many posts where people are like, I use that every single day of my life. And people love it. They say the measuring tape is so pretty. The measuring tape is the best. I pulled out the measuring tape at work and my boss was like, why do you just have a measuring tape on you?
I feel like it's one of those things, like I didn't use soft measuring tapes until I worked with OwlCrate, and they're just so useful. And now I'm obsessed and I'll never go without one, ever.
Teresa says, I brought mine while crabbing. I'm not sure what that's for. Maybe to measure the crabs to make sure that you can take them.
Mm-hmm.
You have to let me know, Teresa. Oh, because you have to throw the small ones in. See, I was right. Okay. It's useful for crabbing. Sil, if your life was a book title, what would it be?
Something along the lines of, how did we get here and where are we going? Because I feel like that's just like a constant, I don't know, but we're going this way and it'll be great. I like that. How did we get here and where are we going?
Sounds like a self-help book.
It does.
Well, it's an adventure book. It's just
okay.
Mostly because I'm lost and horribly directionally challenged.
For mine, I'm not feeling super creative at the moment. I think mine would be like not maybe like self-help, but like business help. You can still launch a business while you're an introvert. Because I know that I'm chatting now, but I'm a pretty shy person and I always have been. And, launching a business was my dream and it scared the crap out of me. And I kind of, now that I've done it, it's like, I want other introverted folks to know that they can do it too, even if it's scary.
I will just say that the irony of me coming up with like adventure thing and you being like, counselor, like self-help thing is hilarious to everybody. But you should totally write a book.
Maybe someday. I'll come up with a better title than that.
Titles I could choose right now. How about...
You can't pick a title that already exists. That's too easy. If we could do that, I would have picked something way cooler.
Mine would just be called Audacity.
I think the book title, if I could pick a book title that already existed, it would be a book title that's like The Little Old Lady Who Broke All the Rules.
I love it.
That is my life goal.
You're doing it too.
Pretty much.
You're not old though. I mean,
I dye all the gray hair out. I make it blue. See.
Sil, if you could build your perfect book box, what would be in it? Taxidermy octopuses, perhaps.
Probably like weird dead things.
I like it. Some bones.
Like soft self-care witchy vibes with cool dead things. Just oddities in general. I would summarize all that with oddities.
I would buy that.
Right? So would I.
Mhm.
You should have done that for the Curiosities Emporium reading challenge.
Yeah.
That's the vibe. Korrina, I feel like this is a cop-out because
I can't answer this. I get to do this. Yeah, I get to do this every month. And obviously I got to build a Raven Boys box, which was like dream goal. Check. I don't really know what comes after that.
I think the next big box that's coming out later this year. You're just
True.
Well, I hope everybody's enjoyed themselves today. And I hope I didn't stick my foot in it too deeply with spoilers. But thank you so much for everybody joining us in the nest today. Thank you, Sil and Korrina. You guys are amazing bosses, and there isn't better people in the universe. There really isn't. I want everybody in the nest to keep an eye out for next week for lots of amazing features, games, and giveaways coming from OwlCrate in celebration of Oswald's birthday. Many of these events will be hosted or cross-posted here on the nest, so be sure to check out our be sure to check out our Instagram and TikTok with Sophie and Christiane, because they're going to be hosting a lot more exclusive content, and you can find that at OwlCrate. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you at our next live, which will be with Ignacio Nicastro on March 15th. Bye.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan, and thank you everybody for tuning in.
Thanks. Bye.